What's going on, guys? Really not much to go over today. I did say that, the window of weakness is kind of here, and we saw a lack of follow through on some of our trades today, which we were trying to swing, and that's okay. That's kind of what we wanted, to be honest. We want either a deeper pullback that's still structurally sound, or just inside bars that are still consolidating above a prior resistance, which are now support levels. QQQ here. Really just kind of trading within that larger, I would say like that Thursday candle. Obviously, we had an inside day on Friday, and we're still within that Thursday candle even with today's price action. I still think that we could see that distribution within this 2 week period, hence why I took that position on QQQ again. It was unfortunate just because if you guys remember, I ended up taking a position over the weekend that I ended up having some good size on. I ended up having, I think it was 29 contracts, which I don't know the exact value of it in terms of market value, but yeah, it was disappointing to see that like the position was pretty much taken in this range here. And we ended up gapping down to, what was it, 491? Yeah, 491 and some change. And literally within 1 hour, we ended up opening pretty much right there, right around that kind of low. So I was only up like 1%. And then as it started to push, I think I was down like 4% or like 3%. And I just ended up cutting it. I lost too much ground in the position where I would have opened at like 20% or something like that. So I just closed that thing out, and obviously it pushed back up to 496, which is that dark pull print that I think we're distributing off of. And then from there, I probably should have shorted it, but it's all good. It sold down, obviously kind of caught that pre-market low, tied into that Thursday low. This was also that signature print that I talked about at 491. So this was a level. Probably should have had this marked, or had it marked on for the video. I did have it marked prior to recording this, but yeah, bounced off of that, pushed up, higher low, pushed up, and this is where it started to kind of exhaust. As you guys can tell, I was just kind of watching this, not necessarily the trend line itself, but you guys can see it kind of had a nice pop here with harmonic volume. It had a divergent pullback, which would have been very valid for a flag if anybody wanted to scalp that, and then it popped again, and you guys can see this pop had way less volume than the initial break here. And then it had a 2 bar pullback, kind of popped again, and then volume completely stalled out, as you guys should be able to see right there, right? Kind of in that general range. So that's when I decided to kind of activate the short. I was like, okay, I'm going to pull this again. I got an immediate reaction. It kind of sold down. And it started to hover around this general range here, and then obviously into the close, it had that nice, or not the nice pop, but it did have a pop up into that 496 level again. I'm not too scared by this one. I have like, what, 7 to 10 contracts, so I'm willing to add into this as long as we stay under 496, but I definitely feel like it being so close to risk, why not just take it? I posted it in the chat too, like, this is as good as it will get, right, from a risk-reward perspective, because entry is basically at the close. Risk would be like right around here, right? And then I'm trying to target 471, right? So that's like literally a 24R. That's underlying, of course, but still, as close as you can get. I'm cool with adding into this one, just obviously kind of going lighter sized. And then as I like it, I'll start to pepper on a contract to contract to contract and just keep adding into it. Max I'll go is like 25 to 30 if I continue to add into this as long as we stay under 496. But yeah, that was that one. Also, MU looks pretty healthy here. Keep in mind, though, if we do have somewhat of a larger correction here, this could go under the levels that I would like for this to hold, but as of right now, this looks pretty dang good, and this is going to be a focus for me tomorrow. Don't mind the flag here. This is from like basically this is like, I think from like a 4-hour extended hours on, but essentially we're pulling back, right? We're basing this previous earnings candle. I've talked about this level a lot. We're basically pulling back into that on that diverging volume. And it's holding this level, right? And that's all I really wanted to see. Fill the gap, hold that level. As long as it behaves here, I'll add into this trade. Those January contracts give us plenty of time. If you guys want to go further out, that's totally cool. Target still remains like 130. This name is fantastic. This name still looks so dang good, and it's still in its early stages. So still a major focus for me. We'll see where we end up opening tomorrow. And like I said, as long as we behave this week, I'll continue to add into this trade, and that really starts tomorrow. There is that potential if we do sell, right? If this is a pretty bad 2-week period going into the elections, we could draw down 13%, right? So really my risk is going to be at this red line. If we end up not behaving well this week and we kind of close under this aggressively, I'm going to say we'll likely pull into this peg here. and I'll just kind of wait to add into the position there and kind of restart the position, if you will, and just take the loss. But until then, right, I mean, I'm going to treat this stock as I should and respect it and assume it behaves well, because it has done rather well and it's holding a pretty nice uptrend here. So we'll keep an eye on this one tomorrow and remainder of this week and next. What else? What else? Tesla, no new update on this one. Still really tight here, so not really much to do here. This is going to be pretty much a play after earnings, so we'll see what this ends up doing. Fingers crossed, though, for that sell. If it can sell down to 182, I mean, I'm not going to touch it, guys. I know a couple people asked me, like, and said that they're trading it for earnings. I really don't want to put my money into a binary event like this, especially something like this, man. Like, it could. I don't know what the implied move is. I should probably check it out. But obviously, IV is going to be high. Odds of getting IV crushed are pretty high, I assume. But I would just like to be a spectator. Let this sell down to 182. Let this sell down to 157, 147. Be a buyer then. I'm not really in a rush. So I'll kind of let the earnings dictate that one. ZOM today, I mentioned this one. Looks pretty good. I did start a position today. This one's kind of, like I said, it's not cut and dry. It's pretty not obvious where the support is. I mean, we have wicks here. I could technically take it from the wicks, or I could take it from the candle closes on the weekly. It's just a general area. So like 119.63 was what I was watching, maybe into like last week's low, which is a little bit lower at 119 flat. Or I'm sorry, 119.20, but I'm kind of just using 119 roughly, right? It's kind of my support. But you guys can see this sold down, has two gaps to the upside here on pretty diminished volume. It looks pretty good where a lot of the volume has really occurred from these downside wicks that have absorbed underneath this 119.60 or 119 flat, if we want to call it that. And really, we've just been stuck in a range, right? This is pretty healthy. Earnings coming up here November 1st, so I like this. I started this. And it doesn't look bad, right? I mean, it looks pretty good. If things start to heat up with the tech industry selling off, right, or kind of the tech sector as a whole, I do think oil will catch a bid here, kind of like a flock to that. Obviously, the news headlines from the political side of it as well will kind of catch steam as well, in my opinion. But yeah, started this one. The Oxy is also a great chart, but XLE as a whole looks pretty good as long as it can kind of claim, in my opinion, it's this general range here, as long as it holds that lower high range. A lot of this looks the same, right? Sorry, this is gray because of my other screen, but yeah, just as long as it holds this general range, you can pull this a little bit lower if you want and kind of go from this candle close, this candle open, this little hammer here. It is what it is. It all kind of looks the same. It looks pretty healthy. XLE looks great in my opinion. Next is Crowd. Crowd, I got exactly what I wanted. I'm pretty satisfied. I got the trims off at 316, and then we printed this kind of gravestone doji. I want to see how it holds this hammer high from Wednesday, right where this was like kind of like our high or low area. As long as we hold that and we trade maybe one more inside bar here, I'm happy to add into this. And then have not only my risk be right here, I talked to you guys multiple times like I want to add against this spot, but I'll continue to add, right? It's not really averaging down, but I'll continue to add even if this sells underneath this this Wednesday high. Let's say it does do that, God forbid. I'll continue to add, and I'm not going to add as we're breaking down, right? I'm going to wait for us to get down to this range, and then I'll add, see if I can get my average into that level or kind of around that range, and then ideally we start to like trend up, right? And that's kind of the goal here. No reason to take my eyes off this chart. Still really healthy, although we do have three inside. I wouldn't call this an inside bar today, but three consolidated days above that Wednesday high. It's kind of struggling to make a new high here. So, I mean, really just going to be patient with this one, but still love it. It's been behaving well. Probably one of the most structurally sound charts I've seen in a long time, and I've talked about that a lot. No reason to take my eyes off this one, guys, especially with this gap to the upside here. Such an easy target. We're so close. I mean, I think it's going to finish it out. So that's really it for Crowd. Just going to wait another day or two. AMD, guys, this thing is crazy. I don't know what to say about AMD. It's insane. You guys can clearly see that it's trying with its best might to hold above this Tuesday low. We tried to wick underneath it one time. We closed above. We had a big pop, and then we closed down near the lows. We had another day where we wicked underneath and then kind of like, you know, managed to hold above Tuesday. We didn't really wick very far below. Today we wicked really far below, even below Wednesday's low, and then closed back above. insane. I feel like they're trying to get that change of hands to occur here and really get a lot of like the weak hands, if you will, out of this trade. And I think it really honestly is against that Tuesday low there. I mean, you can honestly just use like maybe the trend line is kind of your line in the sand here. If we maybe pull it from the weekly, it's really hugging this. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it as to why it's holding. Like the 50 weeklies right here, like I said, the 921 is there. The daily, remember the 50 was just below. We just touched that today, so maybe that was it. All in all I really care about is it closed back above 155.74, which is that Tuesday low. This thing's juicing, guys. This thing feels like it's trying to get people out, so I'm not going to close this thing out. Unfortunately, I told you guys, like, my gut is telling me to, like, not my gut, I should say, my head is telling me, or my heart, I should say, is telling me to add into this one, but my head and, like, just how long I've been in the market knows not to add into this one just yet. Because, dude, if we get some kind of, like, bad news event from earnings and this thing sells, I'm going to feel so sick of having such a big position off such a subjective trend line, just, like, not the best area, right? This is still teetering just a little bit. I would rather it break above, claim 162, then I can feel like I can comfortably add, and not only add, but also have a level of risk, right? This is what the most important thing is. It's not always just about having the best entry, right? We can get a 2.28 R off of this one, and that's all I care about, just having risk, having something that's objective. But AMD, man, I feel like it's brewing something crazy. I know, like, when I say crazy, like, you think, like, oh my god, I'm gonna make millions, but in reality, it's only like $20. But still, that can be a huge move. I'm really rooting for AMD here. So that's that. What else do I have? I mean, a Micron. A couple other ones too. LRCX. I know we have earnings coming up, and I'm obviously red on this one from what I took ads on. But this thing looks freaking good, guys. That monthly level still, it keeps coming back down to this spot here. And we have earnings on Wednesday. Honestly, I've only had like 2 contracts on this one. I might take like another 3 and get to 5 total because of how big this spot is and how quickly we return back to this level from that ASML news catalyst. We sold back into this for a triple bottom, off, like I said, off that key spot. Signs of anomaly accumulation coming off of a zone prior to the split. It just feels so set up to have like an outlier move from earnings. And I think I'm okay taking some risk on this one. So I might go to like 5 to 6 contracts. And I know people are like, oh, that's not risky. It is risky going into an earnings, guys. It is fucking risky all the time. Anytime you put your money into the pot, right, into a binary thing and you can lose all of it, it's risky, right? There's no way around it. Those contracts too are trading at like 200 per, 2.43, I think, 2.45, somewhere in that range. So I mean, it's $1,000 in the pot. There's some risk tied to it, so nobody wants to just lose $1,000. But RR here is pretty good. I like this, so I might add like 3-4 more tomorrow. We'll see what I end up adding into. But long-term target still June. I still think we can get up to like 106, 102. But yeah, this chart's super primed. Roblox as well looks pretty damn good. I know we closed underneath that spot, but remember, you got to be a little forgiving with the time on these. You got to let weeks play out, especially if that's the context of the trade, which that is the context here. So yeah, the only other one I was kind of like looking into adding it to is maybe Shop. But once again, I feel like I had such a shit entry. I don't feel like I don't deserve it. So we're gonna keep hands off with that one. And that's, dude, honestly, guys, that's really it. I mean, Intel's the only other one I was thinking about adding into. Not yet, though. I think I have a good average here, a good entry. So I'm just going to let this one cook. I mean, we have so much time on it. It's not that big of a deal. I may add again if we get above 24.59, which is that big floor here. But this is consolidating really nicely against that old lower high. So hey, that's really it, guys. I did tell you guys, hey, we're going to have a 2-week period where it's going to feel a little weird. It's okay to be a little hesitant right now. Don't feel pressure, right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure kind of coming. And, dude, it feels so weird, too, guys. Like, I want to jump into coin. I almost want to recap this, too. I feel so much pressure. I don't know if you guys, too, to like trade crypto-based names, and it's driving me insane. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. Oh my God, Bitcoin, dude, it's gonna go crazy, dude. Who in their fucking right mind takes this? I'm not taking. I shouldn't have done that trade today. It did go green once I got out of it, but like, dude, I'm not. Why am I taking this? Why am I taking this? This is such a bad trade. Like all the good traders are taking these higher lows, they're taking these pullbacks into whatever, right? Dude, this is so shit, bro. This is like a Jake Wuchakak, whatever that guy is. Wuchakaka, his name. I don't know his name. You guys should know what I'm talking about. This is a trade for him and his group. This is not for us, right? This is not for us. This is such a bad trade. And like I don't know why I felt like the need to take this coin trade. It did break kind of this lower high pivot here, but you also have to think we're at the lower region of like this entire range here, and it's just, dude, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna touch this again. It does have an inside bar against that breakout candle, but I'm gonna stick to my plan, guys. And I know that's hard to say and hard to do sometimes. It feels like you're the kid that's grounded, and you see your boys out riding their bikes, eating ice cream, and you're like, "Fuck, bro, I'm gonna sneak out." No, dude, that's how you get your ass beat and grounded another 2 weeks. Maybe for life, dude. Maybe you blow your account, you can never leave the house again. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. Um, I'm gonna have my fun, cool party at AMD, MU, crowd. I'm sticking to what I know, and these are healthy charts, guys. These are healthy uptrend charts. Maybe not AMD. I will say AMD's kind of teetering on the edge, but I do have hope in this one. I think this one's gonna work out. But dude, there's so many better charts, man. There's so many better charts, and like if there is gonna be a crypto name I trade, I think at this point it's either Riot or Mara, just because the premiums. I mean, Riot kind of looks like poo poo now, but maybe Mara. But wait, what did I type before? Hold up, hold up. I just typed the name and it looked really good. Oh, it was Micron, my bad. Now, they both kind of look bad now that I look at it. I don't know, dude. I don't want to take calls at highs. I don't know. This just feels weird. I feel like I shouldn't do it, man. You guys know that feeling I'm talking about? Like, dude, we all go through this. Like, I just feel like I need to. I'm okay missing this, and that's a hard thing for a lot of people to come with grips or come to grips with. But if anything, I think like Q's will probably be the loser of the week, but it's not that big of a deal. And I don't know if you guys can come to grips with that. I definitely already have. If this fails, it's not a big deal, right? If it sells, yada yada yada. If it rips, right, that's cool. I mean, I'll close it obviously, unless it's like a tremendous gap up, that will kind of suck. But if it, if this goes up, I mean, I have my still last of my swings and things like that. But if it sells, I mean, I assume ZOM will go up. Oil will perform well. I'll make money on this, and then I can add into my swings, which is no big deal. But for the most part, dude, I told you guys I'm just gonna kind of stick to what I know, man, which is like just being patient, waiting for these good, healthy stocks to work out. And I genuinely feel like I'm right. I feel like this is like. I think they're using crypto, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist with this stuff, but it feels like they're using crypto to bait a lot of people to get super hyped at these highs. And dude, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are going to get burned. They're going to use all their cash, maybe blow their ports, and miss out on the big fireworks kind of at the end of this. So, I mean, like, my thing is just being hesitant. That's why I've been buying so much time. That's why I've just kind of been waiting for things to play out. I'm really worried about this 2-week window going into the elections. I really am. So, I mean, I want to have a ton of cash in my account and just be ready for that. And then continue to trade the stuff that's behaving well and still has those upside targets that I can capitalize on. So that's really it, guys. Just wanted to jump on and vent, say what's up. Hope everyone's been doing good. Dude, I might honestly, you know what I've been craving again, guys? I've been craving like a live session, so I might do maybe do some like live trading, maybe like 1 or 2 days. But yeah, I just want to jump on, say what's up to everybody. Keep the vibes high. I know like the vibes have been like, it feels like everybody's just kind of going with the flow with me. Like if I don't really want to trade, I feel like people are cool with that. If I do trade, people are in the chat. But I mean, really, like I said, I'm just protecting my account. I'm protecting, my mentals. My mentals are important as well, more than anything. If I start to get burnt out by the market by trying to trade every day and grinding mortar and pestle to get money every day, and like I'm chasing the money, I kind of lose the beauty of the art of trading. And the art of trading is what really makes you money once you can understand the story here. There's a few charts that have that story, like I've talked about. I think it's like ARKK names. It's a lot of the semi names that are kind of lagging still. But for the most part, I mean, it's slim pickings, and I feel like I do have a good grasp, and a lot of those names are in the watch list that I think will help and ultimately outperform kind of going into the end of the year. But that's all I really want to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot it in the chat. whatever you guys want to do. So I'll talk to you guys later. Don't hate me. I might upload this to Twitter just to kind of talk and chat with everybody and kind of get some feedback on here. So if people want to watch this and whatever, they don't know the exact entries. They don't know what exactly I'm in, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty much everything here. So yeah, this will carry the port. I guarantee it.